T. Jarrett of the Aquarian TV, home of the Aquarian Temple, All Souls Aquarian Temple, the Aquarian Church Center. Let us come together to get centered by cleansing ignore that phone call. Let us give thanks for this time that we have. These earthen vessels, let us use them to grow the soul. Let us be filled with the most purest and highest of spirit. May our minds be made in service to the good, the beautiful, the true. May our imaginations be filled with beauty, with creativeness. Oh, we look to forgive those who have wronged us. We ask for those who we've wronged to come to a place of forgiveness. Let us forgive ourselves for the times where we've fallen short of right action, right thought. Mm. May our emotional bodies be calm and filled with joy. We are priests and priestesses. We are warriors and warrioresses. Warrior doesn't have a feminine. Or does it? Oh, we hearken unto the beautiful expressions of divinity that our ancestors shared. We beseech the Queen of Heaven, Mother of Mercy, Seat of Wisdom, Knowledge herself, the creative force. May we be filled with her love. May we be vessels for her light. May we carry this torch out to the world valiantly, courageously, as we currently have the sun in a perfect trine with the moon, the sun in Sagittarius, the moon in Leo, 10 degrees. If you have any positions at 10 degrees, such as your ascendant, your sun, especially if it were to be an Aries, you're going to have a grand trine, 3 trine aspects, which would be a big gift. Jupiter, the beneficent planet, is in is the trine is in the nature of the triune God, the product from the top of the tree of life, Keter, Pluto, Neptune, Uranus. From them, the Saturn to Jupiter, but Saturn being the father incarnate, Jupiter being the son of the father incarnate. And their children, Mars. And then Mars's child, Earth. Earth's child, Venus. Venus's it goes it doesn't we start from This is a great reflection, is to start on the furthest away object, to come back down into the moon, to Earth, and then from the Earth to the moon, out back to beyond the planets. When we die, we came in. We go out as we came in. Pretty sure. When we dream, we're able to go into the astral world or in meditation, breathing exercises, positions, whatnot, drugs, and then we come back into our earth and body. So when we lose our earth and body, we go to the astral lunar. Stuck in the lunar realm. How do we get out of the lunar realm? We have to battle the monster of the moon, which is related to our emotional sense of self. And then we go out of the lunar matrix if anybody can get past that. And I'm afraid Gurdjieff talked about the moon as a soul devourer. It is. It eats you up, and what it the way you get past that is by being the middle of the scales, the fulcrum, centered, emotionally balanced. And then we go to Mercury, the mind. We have to get through the mind, the trickster, by realizing that this is all is in the mind, the capital M mind. We have to get through the lowercase mind, the monkey mind of the Mercury and the moon. And then when we get through Mercury and the moon, then we go to Venus, in charge of our senses and our desires. And so such things as addictions to some type of sensual feeling. That's going to keep us from getting past Lucifer, the light bearer, Venus, get caught in the false light. And the way that we get through them is we transmutate them. We transform that love for the sensual realm with the love for the divine realm. We're transforming vices into virtues. And that's how we get past Venus and we get to the sun, which is the ego check, where our light has to be as bright as the sun. Your solar body, your soul has to shine as bright as the sun to get past that realm. Your light body, you knowing that you are the sun, a sun in the making, a star in the making. But without letting that go to your head, and then that could be the source of your rise or your fall. So then we get to the sun, we slay the sun, and we wear its leather, its fur. Hercules has that motif. Then we get to Mars. Our passion is very closely related to the desire realm of Venus, the Venus and Mars mystery. So we have our willpower, our force has to be right. What we're doing with our life force, that's a pretty important one. Your blood. Um, your blood has to be pure. The blood that you spilt must be righteous. Your own blood has to be a christened. You have to transmutate your wine into the wine of Venus into the blood of Mars through the Son of God. They just go through the Bible and replace every time they put like Son of God, just put SUN. but Jupiter is closely related to the Son of God. We get to Sun past Mars, and we go to Jupiter. Jupiter, we have to be wise from the experience. Jupiter is the actual experience. The three, who makes a 12-year trip around the Earth, the Sun, and the 1 and the 2 of 12 equals 3. The king of the round table is Arcturus, Arthur, and who gives us the 12 seats is Jupiter. Now, Jupiter and the moon also have a fascinating connection. The moon at the summer solstice, who is at home in Cancer, the first day of Cancer, we have Jupiter's exaltation there because the moon gives us an experience here on Earth because that's the final mother that dropped us off here, the hand maiden, and Jupiter is about experience. So Jupiter, Zeus, Jesus, in a sense, is the son of the moon, Mona, Mona Lisa. Now, after Jupiter and our experience, which is really coming up with a better perspective, almost your imagination, your vision has to be upright and to get up and past Jupiter, which is not falling into guruism because you got a little bit woke because you're on the spiritual path, not thinking that you're somehow better than someone else. Because Capricornians, they're on the spiritual path, but they do it through the material realm. When we get to past Jupiter, we go to Saturn, and Saturn is your your literal body's structure. How did you do with structure? How did you use that talent? You have 7 talents that we have given and then that we have to give back. And hopefully we've grown them and multiplied them. And so we could give back more. Now, if we come back and we've spent all that money and we have nothing, you don't have the coin to pass through that to the river Styx. I, this is, I think, it's just syncretic through the world's religions, and it's really a mapping of our psyche. The our own mind is a fractal of the great mind that we're in, and it comes in, and we're just the dot of God, of Brahma, and then it goes back out infinite times, and there's infinite gods, minds of Brahma, and they're all one. Hinduism has the deepest theology by far because it's most closely related to the Proto-Indo-European perennial philosophy, wisdom teachings about the nature of reality. And they're cloaked in religious myths, and it's about the individuation process, the development of the soul, of the psyche, the race of coming out of our animal self into a human. So if we're not evolving at least uh, as fast as the Earth, then just like the Earth dies, so will us on other levels. We create these bodies through ego, false senses of self's identities, and then put so much energy into them that protoplasmically we have bodies, layers of bodies, we're like a Russian doll. And if we put so much into one, a belief system, a faith system that's false, that gets broken down. If you built it so you built so much on that, it's That fall is more painful. So there's going through Saturn. Saturn's a great reality check. How'd you use your time? Father Time, Chronos. That's the karma king, Saturn. We will have to account for our time spent here. I know you don't have to believe this, but it makes rational, reasonable sense. And these teachings do go through our world religions. They're syncretic, and ultimately, that this is a learning experience, but it's like a life or death learning experience. If we don't learn, then we die. We have to build our kingdom of heaven in our minds and then act in accordance with it and have that such realer than real. So when this reality, you get detached from it because you die, it has to be able to, you have to be able to withstand the shock of the loss of your material body to survive into the heavenly, to the mental realms. And eventually the laws will bring you there, but a slow and painful process. But maybe that light could just fully extinguish and we've just resigned to just the bestial way of existence. Well, that existence gets burnt away, and then we, if we've identified so much with that, that gets burnt away, and then we are non-existent. In some way, that's good. So we are using our imagination, our willpower to create the kingdom of heaven within, so that when we die, we go there. Because why? Because we're living there now. Let's do it now. Now is all there is. The eternal now. That moment in between breathing in and breathing out. Our first kiss with our beloved bride. That moment now. I slipped on my neck poorly. Pain in my neck. This is a time to speak from the heart. This is a time to for an enlivening of the heart. A moon in Leo. This is a princely, a gift after your wedding day, on your wedding day, that enlarges your heart from a wise sage, guru, that kind of energy, that gift. Just be feeling wise today, speaking from your heart, feeling warm at a home, emotional fulfillment with children involved, feeling childlike at heart, feeling optimistic. This is great. This is much needed. We're just coming off of a square with Saturn. Difficult with reality, are being dreamy, but our reality not reflecting that. But we have Venus, who's spending her time in, who has been in Libra. When Venus entered into Libra, which was 3 weeks ago, almost 4. I I said I expect if there's going to be peace, it would be during this time, and there was peace for a little bit of time. But then Venus is going to go into Scorpio in 2 3 days. That is going to be Venus does not like to be in Scorpio. Her light gets darkened. Her sense of beauty is betrayed. It's sexual stuff gone, the dark side of it, abuse, like that in those realms. Venus in Scorpio is kind of a good time for the other side of that. There's a polarity to everything. It's number one rule of Hermeticism, and we're here to reconcile opposites, to rectify, to correct our karma. That's a teaching that goes through all the world religions. Is we are here to make up for shit we've done wrong in the past. So while we still have the time, let us repent to the Lord and let us do our penance with the most beautiful, biggest smiles that we have been given this opportunity to do it. So let us do it while we can. Sagittarius has this preaching power. So just start preaching. But it could be a religious zealotry, but not right now. I feel like with the fact that we have the moon in Leo, that it'll be fiery, yes, but true and authentic. And when we come from that authentic place in the heart, it's not really nothing could go wrong. That's where we're cleaning up karma. Transmute our pain into salvation, the salvation for all souls. Aaron's energy, what's up? I find myself appreciating and practicing authenticity more and more. Mhm. The, the four fixed signs are concerned with authenticity the most: Leo, Aquarius, Scorpio, and then in fourth place, Taurus. Taurus, being an earth sign, can be kind of surface level, and there's a beauty to that. But I know Tauruses who are astrologers are very deep and profound, and that's why Scorpios, who are opposite of uh, Taurus, enjoy being around Tauruses because they don't have to be so deep and profound. They could just get help getting into their body, the physicalness of it. Tauruses will help the Scorpio, all the signs to do that. Oh, also look to your opposite sign because that's kind of how you show up in relationships, and it'll be like kind of the environment of your actual wedding. And even if you get married, I got an empty seventh house. I have my North Node. I'm not gonna talk about my chart, but book a reading. Liam at theaquarian.tv. You just want to talk on the phone with me. I'm so bad with charging people. I need to stop. I made this shirt when I was a Christian Catholic believer. I called it Eche Clothing, and that was my E. This is St. Francis of Assisi, who it turns out the whole story is like propaganda fiction from out of the Roman Empire church. Should have put that together. But he does kind of have this vibe with like nature, which I appreciate. He was like more of a mystic, but not even a fiction, not even a historical character. Pretty sure. And probably a psyop. Oh man, everything I've learned is all a lie. You know, that's tough. That's tough. Also raised Catholic. My ex is Capricorn. Spot on. Yeah, they're just kind of in the very worldly. That's something spiritual. Where they bring the spirit into the world, to the dark of winter, but they could get lost and they just become dark, or they could be great, powerful bosses of. They're really the host of God. Really is formed in at the start of at the winter solstice, the first day of Capricorn, the birth of baby Jesus, the birth of the sun, the resurrection of the sun from the dead, the birth and the resurrection. But then we have a birth at every cardinal sign. The birth at Aries is also the resurrection. It's really the resurrection because the sun comes out from the book of the dead into the book of life, being the signs. The book of life is from Aries to Libra, and then Libra to Aries. There's the two libraries, the two books in the library. And it's just the dark is the world. So the king of the world is Saturn in Capricorn. Saturnalia happens at that time of year. And then the opposite of Capricorn, they show up in relationships emotionally needy sometimes because they lack that, being Cancer as its opposite. So often they'll look to mother. Sometimes they'll look to mother others and to mother themselves. Sometimes they lost their mother. I lost my mother when I was young, and I found myself doing that in relationships. Looking to be mothered, not receiving that, overly mothering them, ne- neglecting myself. I'm a Capricorn ascendant, so I have big buck teeth, and my sisters are as tall as I am because Capricorns it constricts you at birth if that's on the horizon when your light came in and you received all that. It's a restrictive energy to what your appearance. So I should have been like 6'5", but I'm 6'2" and change. And then the constriction of Capricorn ascendant. Book a reading with me, dude. I'm so good. Your mom died young. Yep. So people with Scorpio, Capricorn stuff, like Capricorn's it's Pisces, Virgo. Those are the suffering signs. I'm sorry. We all suffer, but each sign the Rebbe's say had their own tikkun, meaning their own rectification or their own karmic lesson to learn by being born into those signs. The sign of Scorpio has to do with loyalty, faithfulness through the fall, um, getting sold out, getting betrayed, trust, because when we enter into the sexual union with another, which is Scorpio, it's it's really a vulnerable moment. We make ourselves vulnerable, and it's often heated, Martian, and emotional. Water sign of Scorpio, and it's the sexual waters, semen and the woman's waters. They come together with that fire, passion, that life force energy, and that's how life gets created. And like our alphabet, everything is about the generative process. The G for the Grand Masons, the it's the third letter of the Hebrew and Greek alphabet, Gamma or Gamel, which is that the third, the child from the mother and the father. It's Jupiter, it's Saturn, it's pretty much all. It's the cosmo creator. We have to create. We have to become cosmo creators. or we're going to keep on getting stuck in someone else's cosmic creation. That's one way to look at it. Another way to look at it is that we're brought into this cosmic creation for our um, evolution, growth of our star light, our soul, our solar being. The sun gave off a bunch of other suns. Our spirit comes from the sun. Our life comes from the fucking sun. The planets reflect the light of the sun. And we had that light within us, my guys. How glorious. We need to start paying homage, honoring, fucking worshiping, adoring the goddamn sun, the moon, the planets, the earth, each other. You're making idols out of things. Ooh, monotheism. P.S. Judaism is henotheism. Judaism being that which spawned Christianity, Islam, and Masonry. I don't know. What's, yeah. Hopefully, I don't lose my life over this. And it's called henotheism. Henotheism. Henotheism is just taking your tribal god and elevating it above all others and conquering them, going into their temples, smashing their statues, and replacing it with your own people's. Is what Christianity and Islam did to the West and the East, the freaking world. They weren't able to get Hinduism so much and Buddhism, but Hinduism and Buddhism have their own problems with. So they're not perfect, nor are we. But still though, we're this is a reformation. We're doing a religious reformation. Some critiques of the Eastern religions is their caste system. Um, some academic Christian Western warped minds report on that stuff like it's worse than it is in some places, perhaps. But ideally, Aquarianism is about equality, whilst recognizing, yea, even celebrating our differences. How beautiful is that? You like that? Francesco of Assisi? Assisi. Little Saint Francis of Assisi. He did tame a werewolf that was terrorizing his town. Actually, that is a cute story, which could be possible. Still pretty unlikely. There was a wolf that was terrorizing the town, and Saint Francis befriended it, and then it ate Saint Francis. Stories. Well, lots of saints. Totally, Saint Bridget was the goddess Bridget of Ireland. Never a real person. Saint Catherine of Alexandria was really this freaking poet, politician, uh, extraordinaire female who got freaking killed by a mob of Christians. What was her name? And they freaking took shells and scraped the skin off of her flesh, burnt down her house. And she was like, and then they made it a saint. And when really, they're the ones who fucking killed this beautiful philosopher woman in Rome. Was it Greece? No, she was Rome. She was in Rome. Man, oh man. You are a Cancer sun. Mm, the many moods. The many moons of the Cancer sun. The Cancer sun. I pretty much married a Cancer, which is where my seventh house is. Cancer. You often marry your opposite ascendant or sun or moon. It's opposites attracting in nature because so we're seeking to rectify from the fall, from the split. We rectify that by bringing them together. It's most obvious in the act of sex. Okay, we have Mercury who's just moved into Capricorn. So for Capricorn, so our minds, how we communicate, is going to be more structured and in the world of the world. And it could be thinking from a higher, from on top of the mount, with a higher view. Could be help us to manage, help us to discipline our minds. Mercury in Capricorn. Let us honor that transit, this ha- this phenomena, by welcoming Mercury, the messenger, Hermes, Thoth, into the sign of the she goat, the Capricorn, Capri, the sea, Capricorn, corn, the horns of the goat. Let us offer you a cornucopia, oh beautiful Mercury, that you might be able to use all these gifts that you receive well. So it is, so mote it be for you and for me. When you sing something, it has twice the power. When you sing it with your heart and soul, 7 times 70 the power. And then with your imagination, your mind, 77 times 777 times more the power. And then when you get other people to come together in it, it's as good as gold, infinitely manifesting in this mother. And then we got the sun and Mars and Saturn giving us some energies, inspiration. Yeah, we could feel inspired right now. And that's great because eventually everything goes to shit. Dog, as Pluto moves in to Aquarius over this next year. We got a year before that happens. Before Pluto comes in and tears down everything as we know it regarding the structure of civilization. So let's get ahead of the curve and start building on grounds that will withstand the storm of Pluto coming into Capricorn. What is truly built on that, on truth, from that authentic place of our heart, with the balanced emotions, and filled with emotion. Oh, Saturn and Pisces, help us to make our dreams a reality. Help us to not be depressed and melancholic. That could happen. Saturn and Pisces. It can restrict the flow of emotions. It could organize them to make it a frickin' system of agriculture to feed the town. Let us do that. All right, my lovers. I hope you've enjoyed this. Brittany Swanson's I'm a Dark Night of the Soul. That is a Scorpio motif and a Pisces motif and kind of a Capricorn. I mean, we all do it in our different ways. But my God, why have you abandoned me? That's the trial of Pisces. The betrayal being felt like God's betrayed you. The trial of Judas. Being brought in front of the courts and given false testimony put against you, Libra. And these are all to humble us. What and I hate to say have faith in God, but to keep our faith in ourselves, belief in ourselves, no matter how dark things are. Holding on to hope and being a reason for, for hope in this world and to others through our courage to stand up for what is right and just, to be merciful unto others and ourselves. We're finding that middle path between mercy and justice, severity, compassion. Right, I'm a Capricorn. Swanson's a Capricorn. The trial of the Capricorn is to not be a bitchy boss. instead, instead, be at service. To be the hostess with the mostest, and they do. My best friend. And also don't abandon your emotional body just for the material body. Your home, sacrifice for work. That's a Capricorn thing. If you have your South Node in Capricorn, which I do, that means I did that in a past life probably. And in this one, my North Node in Cancer, I'm called to be more emotionally comfortable and with a sturdy home. I have a Taurus rule my fourth house. Your fourth house is like your home, emotional, secure place. Faith in Creator is the best, not man. Faith in Creator. Um, Sometimes I think about the Creator of this world. I mean, there's lots of things in creation that are pretty fucked up. Well, some would say they're fucked up because of man. Mm, I've seen a beautiful small deer freaking tortured by a bear, ripped to pieces. That's kind of crazy. We have to eat something and kill something just to survive, even if it's just a vegetable. That law's in place. I could think of. So what the fuck? So in a sense, we are the creators of this world. Just through our own, we're co-creators during the day. That's through our comings and our goings, we create in the material realm and in the interior realm. And I think we our idea of time is so we don't have the time idea mental view of outside of it. But I guess in some way we had to have dark in order to have not light. kind of fucked up though, but it's for the evolution is to have those things. So then the dark occultists, that's how they justify worshiping Satan. It's kind of like you are what you eat, which is why they do a ritual of eating God in church. Cannibalism and Satanism, drinking blood. Like drinking blood is a big thing in Hollywood dark occult circles. Uh, Catholic fucking churches do a mock blood ritual. Behind the scenes, they do real ones, I'm sure. So the Aquarian is breaking us out of the scapegoat, blood, sacrifice, atonement ritual. That doesn't mean we're blood phobic, yes. And we see the symbolism in it that blood is the water is holding the light. Blood is a Scorpio theme. The name of the month is Mar Shavan, which means like bitter waters or blood. It's a psychological war. It's Scorpio. I'm a Scorpio sun. It's so much fun. Love reading these chats. Banned books are the best. I think I need to start writing a book, even though I tell myself nobody likes to read. Yeah, Enoch and Gospel of Barnabas and the Gospel of Mary Magdalene. Enoch is fascinating. Say Enoch is a Jewish version of Hermes, Mercury, Thoth. It's like a pen name that you would write under. They did that with Paul too. To give your text more credibility and to say that you're coming or you're in that school. Sometimes that school is a more organized thing. Like Mary Magdalene is the star in the sky, Procyon, at 25 degrees of Cancer, next to the brightest star in the sky, Sirius, who's the other Mary in Cancer, 15 degrees. And those are Major Cana and Minor Cana, the two dogs on the hunt with Orion, chasing the hare. This is the two weeping Marys at the passion and death tomb of Jesus. This is the weeping in the morning of Tammuz, Tammuz being Orion. This is Nephthys and Isis of Egypt following the tomb of Osiris, the god of the underworld, because he is exalted and most high in the sky during this time of year, called, which in Hebrew it's named after the constellation Orion. The opposite sign is Gemini, the twins, the sons of thunder. Sagittarius rule Jupiter, as we're in Sagittarius season. So opposite in the night sky is the most prominent constellation, which is called Kessel in Hebrew, is Orion, and the name of the month is called Kesev, which is named after Orion. I think if people knew that the Hebrew calendar and the is off of Babylonian astrology, the world would break out of these stories. People thinking that these were real persons. I know there was never the the Aquarian teaches in the spiritualness of the Christ metaphysically, the chrism, that light in the waters of our body, especially in relationship to our spine and it's the bone marrow and the cerebral spinal fluid that rises up to our crown where we are christened Messiah, Moshiach, the anointed. This happens within us. Now, in a sense, as within, so without. So then in the world, is there this Christed Messiah who comes? Guess. You! You! Shout out to my headset thing. It makes it look like what I'm saying is more important. It's really, it's a boom mic. It's called the J Lab. $79 on sale at Best Buy. This is not a paid advertisement, although it should be. Banned books are the best. Yes, Enoch and Gospel of Barnabas is the other Bar or Barabbas is the one who was released. Bar means son, Abbas of God, Abba, God the Father, and Jesus, the other son of the God. One was released, one sacrificed on top of the hill. This is the scapegoat ritual of reenacted, but with people instead of goats, and it's allegorical, metaphorical. It's really they're trying to trick God, but it's acknowledging that we have to pay for our transgressions, which is daunting, but we have to take responsibility for our own stuff and not scapegoat it off onto some other people. We got to get rid of. I mean, I'll say transfigure. We have to transform, transmutate these old ways of doing things, but it means flushing out the past. Pluto as it enters into Capricorn. I imagine the Catholic Church wouldn't even stand for that. It's going to be because when Pluto finishes its final degrees, it's called the anaretic degree. And at that anaretic degree, the 29th degree, it's where you get the full powerful punch of that transit to one injection shot. And when it's Pluto, it's Plutonian into the structure of the kingdom, Capricorn. Boy, I just hope it's not a freaking nuclear war, fallout, the Samson option exercised. Another fictional character based mostly off of Hercules, Heracles, son of Hera. So Mary Magdalene is likened to Nephthys, who was the darker twin of Isis. They rise up in the night sky, Procyon, to proceeding the next star, Isis, the mother of God, the mother Mary. The midwife, the dark twin, Nephthys, is the lady of the house in the inner sanctum sanctum, the dark side of Isis, behind bedroom doors, the sacred prostitute of the temple, Nephthys, who got transformed into Mary Magdalene and is just called a prostitute. Oh, Isis, oh, Nephthys, restore your power on earth. Bring back the sacredness of sex. Forgive us for profaning such a beautiful phenomena, oh goddess Isis. We save you out of the throngs of Babel. Resurrect in our world. Alleluia, amen. Barnabas. So yeah, I touched on Magdalene. Mag, it has to do with that magnetic energy. Magda, is the door that you meet. in the sexual union in between coming out and going in. Where life is created. What are we bringing in through that door? Death or life? Often when we come in together in the sexual act, it can either bring you death or life. You could bring in a demon or an angel. I guarantee you, when people have sex or are in love, that those children come out experiencing more hell than those who come out in a union between two in love people. They probably come out into a world that reflects a little bit more of heaven, wouldn't you say? Wouldn't you say? All right. We've gone on for a while today, an hour. This is this headset got me. Uh, as a as a Capricorn ascendant, Mercury coming into Capricorn, that's gonna make me a little bit more communicative.